Good afternoon and welcome to the next in the series of successful introvert workshops. And today we're really focusing on making your voice heard. So my name is Brian Johnson and I come from a background in financial services, and most of the time feeling a bit unhappy at how my voice has not been heard both in and outside the work environment. And over the last few years, I've really been on a bit of a transformational journey, exploring what I've learned over my lifetime and what I really enjoy doing. And it's resulted in me making a big change and following my passion about helping other people achieve their full potential and learning early on from things it took me a long time to master. I hope you will have been engaged today, and feel free to add any comments or interrupt me if you feel like doing so as we work our way through this subject. So making your voice heard, particularly at work. The first question is really think about who is it that hears you at the moment. Who do you think is hearing you in the work environment? Your boss, your co-workers, clients, anyone you deal with in the company? Who do you think is actually hearing you? And how do you think they are hearing your voice? And which way are you approaching that? How do you feel compared to your colleagues? What happens when opinions are sought? Does anyone come to you to ask for your opinion, or is it left to the extroverts to speak for everybody? It's really thinking about this starting point, about where you are, and looking at what has brought you to listen to this workshop. And then it's thinking about where do you want to be? What is it you're looking to get out of this session today? It's really thinking about the next steps. So what does being heard mean to you? What difference is that going to make? How is that going to make you feel different? What will change in your life when you are being heard in the way you want to be heard? There's someone in the office you wish to be heard like? So, for example, if you can see someone in the office who I wish I was heard as much as them, perhaps pay some attention, thinking about how they interact throughout the day. Is that how you want to act? Do you want to be a mirror image of them? You just want to take the bits you like, that small bit that gets heard, drop the rest out of the picture. Sometimes we need to think about what the big picture looks like and what actually we really, really want. But stepping back, if you were looking in on yourself, being heard, what would you notice? What would you be hearing? What would you be seeing? And what would you be saying different? Take a few seconds just to think through that. What is going to be different? It's all about putting what's going to be different in the positive. So we're avoiding negative words. Not that you won't be doing something, it's I will be doing. This is what will be happening. This is how I will feel when I feel more appreciated, more motivated. Make me feel happier. And then it's really thinking about how much do you really want that? Imagine that actually these things you were just thinking about doing. Imagine working in your mind, just work through what a day doing that look, feel, and sense like. How it's going to make you feel? Is that in a situation where you will have the energy to keep that going indefinitely? Is it only a part of it? Really thinking about what it is and what it looks like. And taking a bit of time to think about a clear, positive statement of what you should be doing. It's moving on. How will you know you are there? What is going on? You know what you want to achieve. You want to be someone that people take the time to talk to, ask questions, whose opinion is respected, who's seen as a valuable and important member of the team, somebody there's space for in the office and will be missed if they're not there. Is that the sort of picture you're painting of yourself? Perhaps it's then thinking about what's comes next, what difference that's going to make. When you wake up in the morning, how are you going to feel? Words come to mind. Knowing where you want to be is important to help you to achieve them. Because then we can explore what others are going to want from you to enable you to achieve that. Different people want different things. What do you believe people are going to want from you to enable your voice to be heard in the way you want it to be heard? What is happening? What are you doing differently? Notice how that makes you feel. If it's part of having your voice heard, being first to speak up. How does that make you feel? Where are you now at that? Are you the person who waits to be asked a question? If you want your voice to be heard, do you need to be the one who's asking the question? What will need to change for you to make that big step? What is going to happen? What big question you need to be asking yourself to make it clear, is this something I can achieve? And it's really thinking through what is it others are going to want from you if your voice is to be heard in the way you want it to be done. Think of the people who want to hear your voice. Everybody. You think they would say, if you want your voice to be heard, these are the top 3 things you need. And taking those ideas of the top 3 things you need to be doing to be heard by other people, what could be different if I was to change my approach? What ideas could I do? So for me, it's about noticing interactions. If I want to be heard by people, I need to speak to them. And that means initiating conversations when I see them, which can require a bit of thought and a bit of planning. What conversation? So the simple things, it's remembering things they like, family, children, hobbies, football team they support, whatever that is, which gives you a starting point for a conversation. And even it's just briefly saying, oh, your football team won last night. Oh, I see they're playing this evening. who do you think is going to win? Those sort of Irene questions, are very simple questions to get people seeing that you value them, and then they're more likely to listen to you. If you never say anything, why would someone listen to you? Do you listen to people who never speak to you? So it's thinking about a change of approach, small changes of approach. And if you're in a big group situation and there's things you want to get across, think about, there's a big subject of how you project yourself in the meeting. Think about how you're standing. Think about how you use your hands. And get your voice heard in a large group. It's sometimes understanding, it's the whole subject about understanding the dynamics of the meeting. But the important thing is to be clear who's controlling the meeting, for example. So making eye contact with the person, using hand gestures to say, hello, I've got a point to make here. Makes it clear to other people that you want to say something. And it can take a lot of practice to get to the point where you're comfortable interrupting and making your point, and finding that space to interrupt. But by simply getting used to being more dynamic and saying, I'm here, hello, hi, people will notice. You may see immediate results. It depends on how emotionally aware the other people you're speaking to. Now, people who are brilliant at immediately recognizing that there's someone else who wants to speak and get a point across, and will give them the space. They are the real leaders. There are others who just love the sound of their own voice and ignore you. So it's really learning how to get comfortable signaling I want to say something, and therefore being heard, and exploring what you can do. Sometimes it's thinking about how do you change your approach, how do you follow up. It's a whole different way to think about a much deeper area, particularly working on business meetings. So it's really thinking about, here it's thinking about how do I be heard, how do I make those movements, how do I go, I have something to say. My voice is important. I want to speak, so I can do this, and get yourself in the mindset where you can do it. You know you can do it. You've done it before, and being clear on what the outcome is going to be. Feel comfortable, or feel uncomfortable. Feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable. So, no, okay, today this is what I'm going to do. I'll take this one small step. Notice the gains. Often it can be helpful to write a journal on the journey. This is what I need to do. This is what I did today. This is what I did last week. And go back, okay, so where am I from where I was last week? Actually, last week I was just sitting, wishing I could speak. And this week I managed to say something. And noticing the journey and noticing the difference it makes to you. So on this brief run through, the critical question is, what have you learned? What are you willing to learn? What are you going to take away and do differently? Of all the things you could do, what one small step will you do? Just take a few seconds to think through. What one small step can I take to make my voice heard a bit more today, tomorrow, next week, next month? What does each small step look like? When do you want to reach the point where you are 100% happy, 10 out of 10, I'm being heard as much as I want? Where you are now, are you at 1, 2, 3? So what does moving one step up to a climb. What mini success you did. Find that small difference and celebrating your successes in the journey. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Thank you for your time today. I hope you found it really helpful. You can always drop me a message if you want to know more. You want to have a one-to-one session with me, just drop me a message. I always happy to chat, and we can explore in more detail how I can help you and expand on the full program. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you next week.